Here's poet Miriam O'Neal in a reading of her original work.
Let's introduce our first reader, and that is Miriam O'Neal. Please welcome her.
Hi. The wonderful thing about this place, about Books and Sundry and poetry, is it's like a mutual admiration society. Everybody supports everybody here. So if you haven't read here before and this is your first time, you're in a really good place to do it. I'm going to read a few poems from books I've published, and then I'm going to read a brand new poem, brand spanking new. But first I want to read two poems from this book. We start with What We're Given. And they are poems in which I imagine that I've taken lessons in painting. And because I love Elizabeth Bishop, who was a poet but was also a painter. So this is lesson number 2, on time and desire. In a house on the bluff, a dog's shut in and barking. We can hear him from the beach, between the waves breaking. He thinks he's been left too long. Come back, he repeats, as if his bark will conjure the key in the lock. We can hear his yearning. Then the barking stops, which is not the same as ends. It's just the dog has no fixed calculus for how to get what's wanted. When he remembers his need, he'll start again. He'll ask and ask and ask. And as I was looking at Elizabeth Bishop's artwork, I have a book of her collected artwork reproduced. I noticed how she dealt with distance, and I thought about the few lessons I ever took, art lessons I ever took, and how distance was determined or created on the page. This is lesson number 3, distance. A white-necked magpie floats overhead. One sense of distance can be achieved by 2 lines drawn diagonally. If, as they move across the page, the space between them diminishes to a thread. This will lead the eye deep into the field, or to the stone walls that frame the groves, or the green shadows where now the magpie mutters like a priest in his confessional. Who does not need forgiveness? The instructor demonstrates how horizontal lines drawn parallel define what's near and what the eye might imagine by bending light. Here, the threshold of my door. There, east of everything, the Adriatic, where an orange smear signals morning. The bream and mackerel boats heading out, their engines putter, blessing the hammered silver day. I follow as she explains how each vertical construction infers sky, raised cross, soaring bird. Any form that climbs above mid-page will raise the eye. The priest bird overhead, clouds above him, empty space, filling in around his long, slow glide. I want to see what the bird sees, to float on wood and taffeta, like the locksmith of Sabel. But I'm anchored here, midlife, mid-page. Tomorrow, wind. I should tell you that the locksmith of Sabel was a real person who took it upon himself to design wings made of wood and taffeta and tried to fly. He was the first European to fly. Real person as opposed to Icarus and his father. So You always learn something. Poetry has a lot to give you. So I'm going to read one more poem. William Carlos Williams went through, everybody knows I Ate the Plums. This is just to say I Ate the Plums, but there are so many other William Carlos Williams poems. And he had a very difficult last part of his life. And he wrote a very dark poem called Asphodel, that greeny flower, which was a confession to his wife about broken promises. And if you know about Italian cheeses, burrata. Has anybody heard of burrata? Oh, burrata. Anyway, traditionally, it's wrapped in asphodel leaves. And there's something about the promise in that little pocket. The man at the deli counter in Santa Franca shakes his head, no, when I ask for burrata wrapped in asphodel. I can tell he's sorry he can't say yes. He knows that I know what he's being asked. For that soft sack of mozzarella full of creamy curds, strapped and knotted with thin green leaves that smell of spring. Forse a lunedì, ti fermi a lungo, he asks, and now it's my turn to show sadness. Solo sabato. Then, as if in apology, he wraps a slab of salty and firm ricotta solata for me to crumble on my fresh greens. His fingers touching mine as he passes his consolation prize across the counter. His thick brows and mustache twitch as he smiles his sorrow. Mi dispiace. And I smile back. Non fa niente. La promessa volta, I respond, which sounds like I am making a promise to return, which is the promise I would like to make. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw and want to stay up to date with our latest content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to make sure you never miss out on the amazing discussions, insights, and entertainment we bring your way. And hey, if you find value in today's video, be sure to give a thumbs up by smashing that like button. We'll see you next time.